Good morning, this is Angela with Dogwood Paper Arts, and we're back today to work on our spring Songs of Spring Nature album. That's the name of the paper line, but it doesn't have to just be for spring. It can be for spring and summer. And since we're still in the summer mode and trying to enjoy it, even with lockdowns and COVID virus and all that kind of stuff going on, I'm still going to work on some spring and summer stuff. Although fall is one of my most favorite seasons. And I did notice that in the air now, in the mornings, when I go out in the morning and enjoy the break of day, that the air is getting crisper and colder, and it's, we're still in August, and so that kind of surprises me. It felt early to me. So I said that I would sew this off camera, but I have decided to go ahead and sew it with you. Now what I've done is I've taken a piece of fabric and I've torn it down to this little, just about 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch size, and I'm going to use this for my ties on my journal. And I have applied a beautiful little ribbon on it, a trim, and I've just applied it to my journal with Fabri-Tac, and then I applied the trim on top of the material, or fabric, whatever you call it. On the inside, I have gone ahead and cut some more craft text, and I have used a side punch, what do you call them? I'll just show you. I've used this. This is an E-Cake Success, and I've used this to trim up the edge with the same kind of cut here that I'm using on the spine. Okay? I'll put these back up. So I want my stitching to show on both sides, which it's going to do regardless, but I want the better part of my stitching to be on front. So to start with, I'm going to start at the bottom, just because I'll be able to hide stuff right there in that little corner thing that we're going to add on later, or add on today. These little corner rounders, little metal doodads. So I'm going to start right here. Now my machine is, I'm going to have to pull it up just a little bit closer to me, because otherwise it'll be too far away and I'll be sticking my newly graying hair in the camera. Where did I decide was the best? Let me just take my scrap here and see where it's best to line up the edge of my needle plate. Now this is my smaller machine, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not used to it at all. So that's a little far away. I do love that double stitch on the zigzag though. But I think that will be okay. It is a little far away, but I really think it'll be okay. Now, that's gonna not show until the inside. So I'm going to line it up right on the edge of my little needle, or my little sewing doodad foot, sewing foot. So that I start right there. And I have to remember how this machine works because I'm used to my big machine. Now it does say in the directions that Craft Tex is a little harder to work on, a little harder to sew on, but I really haven't found that to be the case. I like sewing on it. It's really kind of cool. And we'll just hope I do a good job here. Let me move my ink back there. It's kind of getting in my way. Don't wanna mess things up like I tried to do right there. And I'm just going to go slow, otherwise I'm going to mess it up, and I'm not too keen on doing that right yet. Can you just kind of see what's going on? Let me move this out of my way. I don't want to sew that edge down. Of my tie, because that wouldn't be so hot. And I'm going to use Gail Augustinelli's turn on my stopping my oh boy, I didn't quite make it up to the side like I wanted. Don't know if I can take one more stitch or not. Let's find out. Nope, that'll make it sew off the edge, so I'm going to backspace it one. And one more. There we go. And oh, it lined up on the edge like I wanted. But I'm trying to keep a neat corner on the corners with my sewing, is what I'm trying to do. And if it doesn't look neat, well, I'll find something to stick there. So I'm doing a zigzag on this machine at a 4.5 width and a 3.0 length, I believe it is. Oops, not that button. On my other machine I would use that button, but on this one I have to use a little different one. I don't want to bring my needle up. Trying to get thread out of my fingers. Once again, I'll move that tie away. And I'm just going right over the tie. That's going to secure it into the journal, which is what I wanted. Now, of course, this corner is going to look different than the other ones. I'm going to just back stitch it. And let's see how we did. Not bad. I should have started at the back of the book, but this is fine. I'm happy with it. And that's what counts, is that you're happy with it. I'll throw those threads over in a box. I don't want my cat swallowing them down. So I did gather up a few extra threads there on the one corner, as you can see. But really, I don't think it's going to hurt anything. But my other corners look pretty good. Oh. Anyway, trying to show it to you. It doesn't want me to. Now, on my spine pieces here, my 1-inch part, I've marked it off with a pencil, as you can see. I do want to go ahead and zigzag down this line just to create an area for the binding to go. Plus, that's going to secure this pocket down, I hope. And I want to start my needle right about where that other one left off. Excuse my head. So I'm going to kind of stick that in there where I want it. And I'm just following my line down right between the sewing foot. There's a little break in the sewing foot, not a break, but a cutout. So I'm letting my line just walk right down that area. Needle up, sewing foot up. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Now, it did not get my pocket. It wasn't wide enough. So what should I do there? I don't know. Let me think about it. It is glued and it should hold. Oh boy, I gotta get my threads out of the way, don't I? Otherwise, it causes a bit of a look right there. Well, I ended up pulling out some of my threads. I didn't want to do that. It'll show on the inside, but not the outside. But I'm going to go ahead and stitch it back down right there. Oh my goodness, what a mess. Well, I just cut them all out again. Well, if it's going to happen, it might as well happen on camera so you can see, huh? So, I really need that to sew properly. I'm just going to re-sew it. It's not going to hurt. It'll be shadowed by the book. And it is a junk journal, so what the heck. Move those little corner things out. Oh, I love the double stitching on it. I don't know if you can see that, but I like it. I think it looks kind of cool. I'll end up securing those with some glue anyway, so that should be okay. Okay, let's do the other one and then we'll stitch back over that one too. And once again, I'm going to just follow that line with my machine. Let me turn it this way this time. so I can follow the same side of the foot that I followed before. I'm coming up to my trim, and I wanted it to go over it properly, so I just stopped and lifted my foot and put that trim underneath so it wouldn't be bent or anything. Now I'm just going to stitch back over it, raise my needle up, that trim again, so I need to make sure all the little fuzzies are underneath, otherwise it's going to curl and I don't want that. Oh, I like that. So that's going to give us a little bit of a place here. Let me talk to my dog. Liberty. Liberty. No. Leave it. You can lay down in here. You want to lay down and stay, or do you want to have to go? You want to stay or go? You want to stay? Okay. You have to be a good girl. You can't take any book binding stuff out of the room. Yeah, it has to all stay here. Oh, I know. Yeah, you're loving me up. You're like, I didn't do it. The cat did it. I know. I know, that cat. He does everything with your mouth, doesn't he? Naughty kitty. I think she always tries to blame the cat. I think it's because the cat does get her into trouble. The cat will go to the computer and he'll knock a bunch of stuff off and then he'll leave. And of course, she's left there with the mess like she did it. And I know she didn't do it because she can't get up on the very top shelf of the computer area. So, anyway. The cat's always blaming her. Or leaving her with the, you know, with the stuff in her paws. Okay, I don't really need to trim that up, but I might use it for something. So, okay. We've cleaned that up a little bit. Now, let's go back to the front of our machine. Let me just walk that back. The front of our machine, or the front of our book. And I want to, first of all, clip off this extra piece here. We're not going to need it. Now, I could roll that underneath, but I think not. I think I'm going to go ahead and just let it fray. There is a little bit of glue there. I think I'll give it just a little roundy trim. And then we'll let it fray, and who knows, it might look good that way. I'm going to throw this in my bin of whatnots. Let's go down to this side. And there is a little bit of glue there anyway, so that may not fray at the end at all. Okay, let's make sure we have the front of our book. Now, I don't want to put the binding on really until I sew in the signatures, and then the binding is going to cover up those signature threads. because I'll be doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch in here. So we have that part, but we know this little inward curve of our edging is going to come to this line on both sides. So I know that this is going to be right about here. So this helps me to place this. Now once we place this, we're going to have to let it dry. So I think before we put this on, we will go ahead and apply these little feet. Not that. Now let me make sure I've got my little, this little jewelry wire tool. It straightens wire. I'm going to use this to help me put these corner things on without marring them up too bad, because I'm great at marring them up. Am I on camera? I hope I am. I hope. Liberty, what are you doing? You can lay down. You were caught again. Yes, you were. You're trying to be a little bit of a naughty girl. She'll wait till I'm so busy that I don't catch her right off the bat. I'm going to put a little bit of glue in these. Oh, I'm sorry, my stomach is growling. Don't want too much in there because it'll come out. And let me get my towel just in case it happens. Okay, going to start down here. And you really want to get that pushed in. And then you want to start to squish these down a little bit. You do have to look for the kind you can squish easy. They do make some that are really tough. So I'm going to go ahead and squish that one down, and then I'm going to have to kind of push this one in and get it to bend properly. So I'm just setting it down on my table there. And, oh, see it push out there? The whole thing kind of went crooked on me. I just squished it too hard right there. Well, let's remove it before it's... There's still glue there. You know, that might be the way to put the glue on. Okay. What I need is a third hand. Will somebody help me? I'm going to try and keep this one pushed onto the edge while I push and squish this one on. Because these are not exactly properly aligned. And because the Fabri-Tac is a little bit soft, maybe. So you can see that these push out from the edges before they're supposed to. It's a little bit of a... I can see that this one has gone over this side a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and push this side back in again. Oh, there it went again. I'm going to ruin all these, aren't I? Let's see. Oh, the dog just took off with something. I'm going to try it like this. Let's push this in just slightly. You push one side in and the other one pops out. You'll have to just bear with me here a moment while we bend this into shape, because that's part of the problem, is that when you squish it, it bends back another direction. Let's flip it over. That one looks good. But see, now this one is off. And now that one is off. I just can't get a hold of it good to keep one on and one off. Nope, that's not what I want. I'm going to bend that back up. And push it all the way back on. And it's going to come up again. If only I had something that would clamp that down. Watching me struggle, aren't you? Well, I don't know. I'll take that one off too. It's not working right. I'll lift that one up maybe. On both sides. What I'm kind of hoping I can do is get that at a nice bend there without removing it from this corner. And then this will allow this to bend over that one. Maybe without shoving it off the edge, which is what it's doing. Hopefully the others won't be this hard. I've never had this big of a problem before. Goodness. an expert, I guess. Oh boy, I have never had one do this like this. Wonder if it's just this brand. Let's take that off of there. Let's see. I do have these. Now, that may not go on there. It's pretty thick. This is a Tim Holtz one, and already it's doing better. Hope I have 4. And hopefully that little bit of glue that I have there will hold it. There we go. That's better. I like it better anyway. That's a lot better. Wow, that was tough. Okay, here's one. And here's one. Yowza. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue in here. And hope it doesn't all squish out. This goes this way. I'm going to flip that over. Oh, that's much easier. Much easier. Oh my goodness. Much better. Then I'm just going to clamp it down now that it's all going okay. Let's look at the front. I'm trying to use just the plasticky part of this to press these down just to be sure they're down good. Yeah, I'm just going to buy these kind from now on, not these curvy ones. The problem with this one is that when you put the pressure on one side, then this side pops out. And really they shouldn't, because they're separate from each other. So I don't know if maybe I need to get my hubby to help me bend these inward a little bit so that that outside pressure isn't so much. But I like this. I like it a lot. So maybe I'm just changing course. Squish that down. It's kind of up right there. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. This one. Oh, and this one. I'm going to set that one on my sewing machine. And let's see. A little bit of glue. Don't know if this Fabri-Tac holds metal to fabric, but or to paper, or to a papery fabric. Just make sure with these you put them on correctly. Because if you put them on backwards, these are down pretty darn tight. Oh boy, those are a little hard, but I think it will be a lot better than that other one. Well, I squish glue out both sides. If you don't have a tool like this, you might want to put something over it to prevent the scratching and marring, because it really will scratch up the metal. Oh, let me get that off of there. The glue. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Whew, thank goodness something went right with it. So I don't recommend those kind that I got, unless you maybe have a thicker book that it doesn't have to press down so far. And that could have been the problem, is that this is, you know, paper thin, and maybe it was just too thin. Keep my towel handy. Okay. Well, you may have to get glue off of your tool a little bit. Let's check the front. Nope, there's some more glue. Get that glue off while you can. Oh, that looks pretty. That is a very pretty one. These corners are perfect. The perfect size for this craft text. Okay, now we're ready to put our front cover on. Now remembering we have this line here that this little inward curve is going to come to on both sides. So there's one, there's two right there. That just helps us to line this up a little bit. Now that does kind of this does kind of come over those. So what could we do about that? If I had rounded these, it would have worked perfect, huh? I really don't want to put them over it, because they're not really evening up. I mean, that's even there, but needs to be placed about here. I guess it's okay that way. Maybe I need these on this one. I'd have to get out some brass ones. Well, let's see. I could round it, but then I would have to put some more paper on it. I don't want to cut it down any further. But I think it's just going to have to go there. It's going to have to cover a little bit of that up. Not my preference. One thing we can do is take a look at it. and see what we think would look better. See if I have something with the rounded corner over here. And of course I don't. So we'll have to round something. Not with that. That's a stub. Let's see. Let's take a piece of thick coffee dyed paper here, and let's do a 1/2 inch corner rounder on one side and a 1/4 inch on the other. That is the 1/4 inch. So even at a 1/2 inch, well, it would miss it a little bit more if I rounded those. So here we go. If I ruin it, we'll make something else. But not today. Okay. What we can do is go around the edges with ink. This is all glued down, so if we just ink it, we'll be fine. Yes, that's better. It's not perfect, but it is better. What I need to do is lose just like that much off both ends. Hang on. There's always time to fix things and make it look right. And we will make it look right with a little bit of ink. Okay. Put all these papers back on the cutter machine. I hadn't planned on using it today. Not for this project. So we have about 14 minutes left, and I still have the one from yesterday to add on or play separately. Okay. Aha. Look at that. Much better. Okay. So, now we need to ink around this. It's just a slight trim right there. And right there. Not much. Okay. Now I need a permanent ink, and I have this espresso color, which would kind of make it pop a little more. So let's try that. Now it may not want to stick to that medium we used yesterday, the golden soft gel matte medium. So you just kind of have to see what it, you know, what you can make it do. But that seems to be going okay. And this is a StazOn ink, so after it dries, it should stay on, right? We don't know. It's all an experiment. My dog's looking at me from the hallway. I wonder what she took. I think it's all a game. Try and shadow in those corners a little bit. Hi, Miss Lizzie. Oh, thank you. That's a very nice hug. Oh, I like it. I love this espresso color. Isn't that beautiful? And I love, the one thing that this ink is doing is on the gesso, because I tried to paint it in all kinds of directions, it kind of brings out the painty look in it. And I really like that. So it kind of looks like I painted in the background, even though it's just a coffee dyed paper. Okay. Look at that. Yep. That's what we wanted to do. I'm glad that we did it. It was brave. Very brave. Okay, so we're going to glue this down and let it dry. And then the next time we come back, we're going to sew in our signatures and apply this outer part. So the book part will be done, and then I will just kind of work on the rest of the inside. I don't know how far I've gotten on it without you, but we'll see. Next time we'll go over it. Okay, so let's apply this, and we are going to once again use the Fabri-Tac. Look at that. Can you see that? That big bubble. Oops. It looked like a little diamond glinting on my table. Okay. Well, here we go. Ooh. Get down there, Mr. Glue. Everything takes time. Sorry about the noise. It's that nib pressing on the paper. Remove that. Don't really want it to come all the way out. We'll have to flatten down a little bit of the edges there. Probably should have used the regular bottle. That's the dog. That's Miss Libby's barking because she hears somebody's, sounds like they're skateboarding out there actually. So, not a noise she's used to. Sometimes her bark scares me so bad because I don't expect to hear it. Because she's wears a bark collar. Otherwise we have complaining neighbors about it. No sense in having that. It's a bark collar that goes off on its own, and it allows her to give the first little bark, and it gives her a little tiny shock. And then if she barks again, it goes off just a little bit more. I could not tell you the brand. She only has to wear it if she has a day where she doesn't have it and she barks. So then I'll just say to her, do you need your bark collar on? And then usually she's quiet the rest of the day without barking at people and things and the UPS man. What do you think? Right about there? Make sure we have that in the right spot. Because we don't want this to come over that. Okay. Now, I hope it's on there straight. I do. Okay. Well, I am going to lay a couple of books on top of this to hold it down nice and firmly. And we will come back tomorrow and add our signatures. And we'll see how it looks. I can't wait. Can't wait to get this on. We're going to glue it on. I'll fill my glue up first. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me today and sewing with me. And wrestling with corner protectors with me. That was interesting. I hope this is not too crooked. I think it's okay. Anyway, there we go. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you very much, and I hope you pick something up about these corner rounders and everything else. And I hope you have a good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.